DC versus Vampires Killers issue 1. Matthew Rosenberg's the sole writer on this one. He's co-writing, or scripting the main book, and then Mike Bowden is the artist on this. So this primarily follows Harley, who's working with Catwoman, who's kind of a supporting character, and she's sort of taken on the criminal underworld, the human criminal underworld in sort of vampire occupied Gotham.
I'll just say this too. I did not like Rosenberg's voice for Harley in this.
I agree with that, actually. I had a hard time with this issue, mostly because so much of it is her talking that it's kind of an issue.
In that there's a fine line when it comes to Harley, and I feel like Tynan walks it, Taylor walks it. Here it's just too far over, I think. Her and Catwoman have a crew. They go in, and Mad Hatter's been running, smuggling operations out of Gotham in this new vampire-led world. And so she basically she goes to let Jervis know that she runs Gotham now. And there's a back and forth about this, that they she tells him not to rhyme, and she ends up rhyming and stuff. And she ends up killing Mad Hatter. Which Selena is like, well, you shouldn't have done that because that's going to bring too much attention to us. The vampires kind of let us operate.
Well, yeah, that was my other problem with this, is that it felt like Harley and Selena, but especially Harley, it felt like, and I know it's not technically current day continuity DC, but it felt like this was like just a straight up villainous Harley as opposed to one. I mean, I know it kind of ends with her like maybe going to do the good thing with the blood that Gordon gave her, but it kind of felt like she'd kind of, I don't know, she's
regressed.
She's regressed back to just being a villain at the start of this.
But yeah, so she has her crew. She's got Clayface and Grundy and Selena. They're living in what reminds me of the Ninja Turtles base from Secret of the Ooze. Right? Looks like an old subway station. She has a manservant for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
And so Gordon shows up, but the evil Justice Society and Scarecrow are on his tracks. She gives him Luther's blood, or he gives her Luther's blood. I guess Gordon gets killed, right?
Yeah, it was off panel, but yeah.
Off screen, or off panel, as you said. Mr. Terrific's there. And Selena gets upset that Harley's doing this stuff with her.
It's important to explain what was special about Lexi's blood.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a very important detail in this scene.
Well, it kills vampires.
Well, it kills vampires, so it should be taken somewhere to possibly synthesize and duplicate and whatever else
to get it out of Gotham. Right.
Yeah. So she goes back to Arkham, where her and her and Selena are living and seem to have control of, and Selena is questioning what this vial of blood is. Harley's saying she's thinking about it, kind of misses the world. Vampire Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight have seemingly killed Grundy, and Clayface is just a little lump now at this point.
Which was the joke I hated the most in this.
Oh, well, it's a joke it leads to, but we'll get to that. So Harley fights back, dusts Mr. Terrific. She comes back to Selena and pulls out what's left of Clayface, but it turns out that she's actually just picked up a shit, like a dog shit or something.
Yeah.
And this joke was like stupid.
It landed with a thud. It didn't go.
No. This is the sort of Harley humor that I do not want.
Nope.
But the reveal here is that Selena's already a vampire and goes to attack Harley, and turns out Harley has already injected Lexi's blood into her system. So after Selena bites her, she starts to dust, and it basically just ends with Harley walking away from Arkham. And it's the end? I'm sure Harley's going to pop up either in the miniseries or the main book, and it'll be relevant that she has Lex Luthor's blood in her. So I'm sure the plot point is important to know that that's happened. But I did not enjoy this issue, and I usually like Rosenberg's writing, so I was surprised that I didn't like this.
It's just that thing where I don't particularly enjoy Harley as much as everyone, and then it has to go. When you write Harley, it has to be from a certain point.
I enjoy. There's several interpretations of Harley that I enjoy, but there's also a lot that I don't. That
yes.
A lot of her ongoing comics tend to sort of fall into.
This felt almost like Deadpool Harley, and that's not the one I enjoy. There's a very fine line. And like again, like I give Tynion all that credit writing her in Joker War, which I ended up liking her a whole lot. But yeah, here it's just she's kind of all over the place. The poop joke, and then the stuff with her and Selena I thought really did work, and then of course Selena's a vampire. So all that stuff it built to the end pretty okay. But yeah, overall this was kind of like you said. It'll be important in the sense that, you know, Harley has the Luthor blood, you know.
That's the important part. I think I wasn't so fond of. I mean, I wasn't really liking Selena's voice either, but at least once it turned out she was a vampire, it made sense why she was being more villainous.
Yeah. Well, I also like the fact that she's so used to playing the lions. It made a little bit more sense to me for Selena to tell Harley, like, no, like, just keep your head down and we'll get through this. Also, Mr. Terrific is supposed to be the Vampire King's consigliere, and, you know, Harley just dusts him, which I felt like he should have had a bigger role, right? She could have dusted any of the other guys, I felt, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah, because what I'm kind of expecting from the miniseries is that obviously Rosenberg, having like scripted the rest of the main book, knows which characters don't pop up that much in it.
Yeah.
So he's probably said, "Oh, hey, there's a whole batch of characters I like that aren't in the main story. I'm going to go do a mini with them in it." Right. I don't know who that's going to include. I could go and check this list, I suppose, but I'll find out. I'll find out later in the month. But
yeah, and we still, you know, they did talk about Superman, right? And so we're still up in the air about if Superman's been turned or not. Which is nice.
Harley certainly thinks he has, because Harley says, or sorry, Selena says, right. You know, or no, it's Harley that says it. Harley says it to Mad Hatter, that it's just a matter of time until Superman comes down and kills everyone.
Right.
Yeah. And the R's, like, the R's not bad. It's definitely got a cartoony style. It's definitely sort of playing more to Harley as a character than it is the book in general. Yeah. It doesn't feel like Otto Schmidt's art in the main book by any means.
No, it won me over by the end, where at first I didn't like it. It was a little bit too cartoony. But by the end, with some of the layouts and the way the action flows, it ended up working pretty well.
It has some nice moments. My favorite moment in the whole book is probably when Harley gets out of the sewer tunnels and like Solomon Grundy's like standing in the shadows, but then his head falls off.
Yeah,
I thought that was an effective little panel sequence, which the cartoonist kind of helped it make it feel like a sort of almost like a Scooby-Doo-esque moment, which I kind of appreciated that. But by and large, there wasn't that much atmosphere. I would say it kind of doesn't fit the vampires are in control world that we're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And the voice of Harley being kind of like off and annoying was a shame. So.
Yep.
What are you rating DC versus Vampires Killers issue 1?
I'm giving this a 5.5.
Yeah, I was gonna go a straight 5. I think. Hopefully the miniseries is better. And you know, the other one shot was pretty good, so I have no reason to think it won't be. So.
Yeah, this was just maybe the wrong story, you know.
Yeah.
But who knows?